Welcome back. You're watching CNN. I'm Brooke Baldwin. And now to the latest in the Senate Intelligence Committee's investigation into Russia's election interference. And the latest is actually not so much at all. More than 3 months after the committee banded together and agreed upon the scope of this investigation, the panel still hasn't gotten far with digging into possible ties between the Trump campaign and Russia. And apparently, patience is waning. Jim Sciutto is with me now, CNN chief national security correspondent, with some reporting. What are you hearing as far as this committee goes? Holdups or any kind of frustrations?
Well, Brooke, to start, remember, the Senate Intel Committee was supposed to be the leader on this, right? Because in the House, you had those very public disagreements, the Devin Nunes case, his recusal, etc. The Senate Committee, much closer mix between Democrats and Republicans, was supposed to be the kind of bipartisan model for this Russia investigation. But we're hearing now, 3 months in, frustration from some of the leading Democrats on the committee. Someone familiar with Senator Mark Warner's thinking on this, I've spoken to. He's the ranking Democrat on the committee, says he's very unhappy with where they stand now, particularly on the witnesses that they've called to testify in public. They've only had one public hearing so far. That's largely been going over the ground of what the intelligence community already found on the Russia investigation. I spoke to another Democrat on the committee who had similar frustrations. When is there going to be public testimony? When are they going to start to call some of these key Trump advisors? Carter Page, Paul Manafort, etc. They haven't seen that yet. Now, to be fair, I should say some Republicans pushing back on this, and I've even spoken to some Democrats who say it's too early for us to say this is all getting wrapped up in partisanship, etc. But there is clearly some frustration there from some of the leading Democrats, and that's bubbling over into the public now.
You mentioned some of those names. I know even though no one's testified, Jim, has there been any contact with these former Trump associates?
Well, they haven't made the official request for that testimony, and that's really what they're kind of keeping their powder dry for here. And I've spoken to people on the committee who say, listen, we're going to have one shot at these guys. Let's do it when we're ready. So that's a fair point to make, and they will. They say, both Republicans and Democrats, call these key players to testify in public. What you're hearing now, though, is a frustration, particularly among the Democrats, saying, why aren't we there yet? We're 3 months in. We have to get to that point to kind of keep the fires burning on this.
Jim Sciutto, thank you for the update on that. Coming up, so what has former President Obama thought of President Trump's first 100 days?